There on your screens is NRG's German rifler Tabson. He had a good day at the office, but his team didn't. They only managed to take one map all day, and that means they've got to take on this guy, Device, who plays for Astralis. He's been running wild with the AWP, an absolute monster, 23 opening kills. So we have a David and Goliath clash. Who's going to win? Find out today on ELEAGUE. Yes, welcome to another awesome day of ELEAGUE. This is the big one. It's the semi-finals. People will be going home or going to television. I'm your host, Richard Lewis, and joining me, as always, on the analysis desk, we've got two former pros who wish they'd had it this good when they were playing. It's Mo and Moses. How are you doing?
He's right. He's right.
I'm not wrong on that voice. I'm not wrong.
4 and 5 years too early.
Yeah, it's okay. If you want to actually have some fun at their expense, I won't use that phrase. Get on social media. Go to Twitter @EL. Use the hashtag ELEAGUE. Or you can go to facebook.com/ELEAGUE Gaming and poke fun at them also. Now, guys, let's take a recap of what we had. Obviously, the group stage has happened over the last 2 days to get the seedings for the semi-finals. This is what the standings look like. You can see that Astralis top with 5-1. They did drop a map, bit of a surprise against SK Gaming. CLG, bit of a mixed day. Terrible day one, pretty decent day two. NRG, the whipping boys in the group. One map, and they barely got that. And that sets up the first semi-final, Astralis versus NRG, and of course, SK Gaming versus CLG. They'll be playing for a place on Friday's finals, TBS, 10 p.m. Eastern, and the chance to win $1.4 million. And here we have the top players this week. Astralis well represented, but it's got to be said, the standout player has been Magic's boy for SK Gaming. Just look at that, 99 ADR, 135 kills.
Yeah, I mean, this
to
is
lead both kills and ADR is a big deal. Sometimes people get the kills, but they don't necessarily have the highest ADR. Yeah. He leads in both against, and look at second and third place. These are world-class players he's leading against.
It's undoubtedly been a breakout performance for him this
Yeah, we said he was going to have it, so that's really good to see. Also, KRB up there as well. As, in the
I mean, someone here said that Magic's boy might be the #1 player in the world.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, you say a lot of things, Mo. All right, we try not to
actually something.
It did one him and out the other a lot of the time.
Something will stick.
You know who else has had a breakout performance this week? It's our casters. James and DDK, we're moving. Here we go. Gliding ever so slowly, coming round to them. How are you doing today, guys? Looking good.
I feel like we're playing snooker with all the cue balls down there, Richard.
Boom! There you go. Well, I'm ready for today. I mean, we have a really, really radiant day ahead of Counter-Strike action. We've got the semi-finals. I'm ready, Richard. Are you ready?
I'm always ready. I'm always ready. I've been here for 3 weeks. I'm very ready. I've been worried about you, Dan. I'm glad you're ready. James? It seems that we're asking questions about our general readiness. Are you ready?
I appear to be ready, Richard.
There's no way for us to get involved in this.
Guys,
we're not British.
Is everybody ready?
I still don't understand what they're saying.
Yeah. We'll get some subtitles for you along the bottom.
So ridiculous.
These British people. But are you looking forward to the games?
I am. I'm quite curious to see who's going to make it to TV. Obviously, we've had a lot of matches in the previous days that have determined who will fight who. Everybody trying to avoid Astralis. Unfortunately, NRG had the shortest straw, and they will be up against the toughest challenge. But maybe that's the way it should be.
Yep, absolutely. Right? I mean, NRG, they've come here with a new lineup. They couldn't expect too much. I think they did fairly well. But Astralis, they got nothing to lose playing them. So maybe we'll see a better game. It's going to be exciting nonetheless.
Right, well, make sure you bring that excitement. I'm looking forward to hearing it myself. We're going back now, bye. See you later.
Make sure you're ready.
Apparently, we all need to be ready. So I may as well ask the question to the person who's going to be conducting all of our wonderful interviews. Rachel, are you ready?
I am so ready, Richard. I'm so excited to be here. And as you said, we started this week with 4 teams, but tomorrow we're going to move on for only 2. And all of them are hungry for that $1.4 million prize pool. But we'll see who makes it out of these matches. First up, NRG versus Astralis. Can Shaq's squad, led by Goffy, rally against the Danish powerhouse featuring twin fraggers Device and Dupree? Only time will tell.
So we're going to introduce the first team that we're going to see in our semi-finals, and it's one of the best in the world, a Danish powerhouse, as Rachel described them. It is, of course, Astralis, and they've just got so much talent on this roster. I think, man for man, they could be one of the most talented rosters after Fnatic, if not the most talented.
Well, certainly the big thing with this bringing KRB in, they now have such a strong core with Device, KRB, and Dupree, and then also, I mean, you added a guy like Zipnix, who's a very strong player at his roles on these maps. Just a tough team, but it's Device who's leading the way, and all week even against competition that you say these guys should just be able to kind of run over, Device has still been the biggest standout for this team. KRB's done well, but when you look at players who have, brought them back from, the brink of defeat, from some of these close matches they've had, from some of the scary situations, it's always been Device. He's been the rock, and the one game they lost is the game he performed the worst in. So you can see he's just such a very important player in this team.
I think he also leads in opening kills as well, which is just showing the impact that he has overall. Not only is he the most solid player, the best clutcher on the team, he's also the guy that's opening the rounds for them as well.
Well, it also just shows he's using the AWP a lot right now. Obviously, he's become their primary operator. Took that over a few months back, but he's getting more comfortable in this role, and especially on defense, that op can just get that opening kill very
Exactly
easily.
what I was going to say, where a lot of snipers get punished if they don't get the AWP. He can pick up a rifle and still get 2-3 kills around.
That's what makes him so devastating.
Absolutely ridiculous. Well, let's take a look at the team that he's probably going to be running circles around. Maybe not. It is, of course, NRG, Shaq's squad.
Shaq squad, of course, right here. I would say they've had some highlights here and there. They had like players like Fudley and Tapson, who I thought stood out as their new players. They actually came in. They were very stable for them. Tapson has been, I think, leading them in every category. Fudley has been very impacting, as in when he gets kills, they win the rounds. My big thing here is Peter right there. He needs to show up because Peter is their operator. They live and die by him. He needs to open up the rounds, and they need to take advantage of that. The problem that I've been seeing is Peter hasn't really been performing well for them, and he's actually tweeted out and talked about this, that he's actually looking to improve day by day.
I think what's interesting, though, is we've talked about mentality. I think this team shows a lot of frustration, and sometimes they seem to just capitulate. It's feast or famine with NRG. There we go, right? And look, nice. He even came in. You mad, bro? Yeah, you mad.
I'm
bro.
not.
Yeah, I'm not. Definitely not. But he is, of course. Mind you, you'd have to have something wrong with you to wear a "You Mad Bro" T-shirt, wouldn't you, Matt?
I wouldn't say that. I knew that was coming. I don't look that mad over there.
Man, you were a good-looking young guy. What happened,
I don't know,
bro?
man. I think I look better now.
Guess someone's got to. Someone's got to. Anyway, let's have a look at the maps that we're going to be playing in this semi-final.
Yeah, the problem that NRG is going to have is that you have to take away one of the big strengths of Astralis, so you have to do Mirage or Overpass. You have to pick one of those two to ban out, and that leaves the other one. So they take out Mirage, that leaves Overpass. That's essentially just a free map for Astralis. I mean, NRG, even if they feel comfortable on it, I mean, they obviously feel better on it than Mirage, but it's just so strong for Astralis. World beaters on that. Cash as well, which is where NRG earlier in the week actually was able to challenge. Yeah. They lost, I think it was 16-12. So they have a little bit of hope there, but it's going to have to be these big
interesting to see Astralis choose to ban out Train this time rather than leaving that in. They did lose to SK, and NRG should have beat them on Train
so
as well.
Clearly, they probably do feel a little weaker on that map, so get rid of it. But we still have 6 other maps we can play.
So look, the players are ready to go. Let's get in there quickly. Let's just predict this first map in the series, and then obviously we'll come back.
I've got Astralis.
I've got Astralis as well.
Right, I thought you might say that. Anyway, look, let's do our Arby's map fly-through and introduce you to our casters, James and DDK.
Well, one has to expect this might be a difficult one for NRG. Astralis can be a bit monstrous on Overpass.
They absolutely can. It's always been a very, very strong map for them, and their CT size in particular have seemed quite impenetrable. And yesterday we saw Astralis playing this map, and even in the rounds in which they were struggling a little bit, Device would just somehow win these ridiculous clutches and these situations. And already Device's importance was talked about. If he's performing today, NRG are really up against it. But let's see if the underdogs are going to start off well, or if they'll start off with bad economy, James.
All right, well, we see 3 over towards B for the CT side, and NRG making quick work of moving through connector, 2 Ts towards long, so the main area of the toilets has been abandoned by the CT side. Device and Dupree starting to move back towards the site now. Again, the CTs wanting to use the range of their pistols, which by default will be will get headshots from further away than the Glocksville in the pistol run, where we will see no helmets for either side. 4 Kevlars on Astralis. We've got Carrigan with the diffuse kit. Initial nade starting to fly in as NRG continue to try and close the distance there. That nade's gone backwards, though, hitting the lamppost.
And here they go straight into the site, closing the distance with those Glocks as they start to get much more scary. And the Horde is overwhelming the bomb site at the moment. The defense here is only, well, it's actually going to be quite good. 3 frags made here by the Astralis side as it's just Legia left now. And see if he can do anything here. Absolutely not. The reinforcements is there in time. Zipex is going to nail him. And that is a very nicely played out round from Astralis. Very good defense overall. And NRG perhaps a little bit too telegraphed, or perhaps just didn't hit the shots they needed to hit. Either way, the result is Astralis with very good money and NRG in a pretty poor spot straight away.
Worry not, people. The game sound will be coming shortly. I think Richard's gone and chewed a few cables, so that will be on the way soon. Perhaps, Dan, you might want to do some sound effects. Don't really do that. I'm definitely joking. Astralis with the buy coming out now. 2 MP9s coming onto Karrigan and Dupree, and the rest will have rifles. And you can see NRG haven't bought much of anything at all. Tabson just holding angles. We've seen Tabson cause considerable damage with Deagles before, and he'll be looking to do the same on this occasion. 2 Deags and 2 P250s for NRG. Godby and Legia will need to get a lot closer to the CTs than Fugly and Tabson will to get the one-shots with those P250s versus the helmets of the CT side. And we can see Astralis is still, they're holding towards upper, towards A, towards the toilets, very aggressive angles where you normally see people move back after a certain amount of time, but they seem content holding connector, going for the flank now.
Yeah, normally it's all about playing long ranges against the pistols, but instead they want to get close. Here it is. Boom, there is the first frag from Karrigan onto Fugly, making the money with that MP9. And he's going to have a bit of a flank going on there, but it's shut down immediately. Tabson, the Deagle shenanigans. The Desert Eagle is just so prominent with this guy. He's so good with it. And it looks like it'll be raining in true today as well. But how much more can he get out of it? We've got Dupree, who's eyeing up this flank as well now, as he's going to hear all the running. And I believe Astralis is going to realize there's going to be a push in towards Beeper. Maybe this will change things. However, time is of the essence at the moment for NRG. They need to get into the bomb site, and they are beginning to do so with the bomb. It is up to Kirby and Zipex here on the defense. Let's see if they've got the goods. There is the first couple nades here, so you can see they already know that NRG are coming, and then they go storming the bomb site, pistols raining in, and Godby gets the first entry on Kirby. Zipex realizes he just has to hold on, allow Device to come in, just pick at these players as Device gets himself in there as well, but it is looking quite difficult at this point. Few shots exchanged here, but Device is very low. Zipex has to do it all by himself here, going in close, getting the first frag on the site, but there's still 3 players left alive for NRG. And Zipex turns the corner. There's another one, but again, time is ticking away here. He's running out of time, the precious commodity. Starting to run low, and there it is, Device coming in with 4 HP, trying to get the trades here, but surely not. Peter gets it with the MP9, and NRG delivering themselves all the way off just killing the flank with Tabson on that 1 Deag. They deliver that push into B, and they close around that they shouldn't have been able to win. Astralis with that aggressive approach, James, didn't seem to pay off.
Yeah, I do wonder if Godby was just playing against the read Astralis had. Towards the end there, you saw Astralis trying to, have a read of NRG, saying, okay, but there are 30 seconds left. They should be moving towards the site now because they're running out of time. But no, NRG is still just waiting there, waiting for Astralis to come in for that flank, punishing them for doing so, and then moving in on a very weakened side. Device having very low HP, caused loads of problems. So Zipex had to try and clear out everybody by himself, just didn't work out. So now we see Astralis on the eco, Dupree getting some Kevlar, got a bunch of 5.7s. They will be, 1 5.7 and 3 P250s. That 5.7 will be fairly strong. Some say it is an overpowered pistol, although there are, at this point, a lot of strong pistols in the game. Has stronger range for a one-tap than the P250 does. There will be an M4, 2 Umps and 2 AKs to contend with. We can expect Godby and Legia to be the front men for the T side here. They are expendable with the guns they have. Not the most expensive guns in the game, and they do have good kill bonuses as well.
So they are just going to be taking it easy for now. RNRG just, they are expecting perhaps aggression again from Astralis. They don't actually even know if Astralis have decided to go for a full investment. We can see that Astralis are playing this very, very light on the investment. They haven't really thrown too much money into this round. A lot of teams would actually in this situation. But Astralis, they're playing the long game with their economy. They're looking after it. They're nurturing it. They're going to be cultivating a much better buy in the near future. But for now, they sort of forfeit this round unless something insane happens. So we'll have to see if that's going to be the case, but it should be unlikely if NRG cross their T's and dot their I's. Using the coordination, using the grenades, and using patience. And there it is. Patience reaping a reward as they start to push in. The only thing that could really play against them is time at the moment, but so far they are getting in quite easily. 15 seconds to plant the bomb. There's Fugly taking down Zipex as well. The bomb will be planted, but Device actually hiding in the smoke. It looks like he's been spotted, or at least they have a feeling he's there. Now they definitely know. Wow, Device getting Goppy as he runs into the line of fire, but it will be a round again for NRG. They will convert, and Astralis back to another save round, I should think.
Yeah. That should be the case coming in for the CT side. And again, we saw Astralis struggle versus SK yesterday. They didn't have a good start on the map and they dropped a map. But there were no best of ones here. This is a best of 3. Just worth noting that Astralis, they won the knife, they picked the CT side. Sometimes we see teams, NIP for example, will pick the less favored side on the first map of a best of 3 to use it as a warm-up and then go into the favored side, hot. Speaking of hot, we see Peter, he's landing his shots at the moment. That's going to be very important going forward. NRG going to have Fugly coming in wide before the short push comes in. Make sure all the angles are covered for the push. So he's going to clear out the B bomb site aggressively. Zipex goes down just before his teammates can come and save him. 2k for Legia. He may want to escape. He's being tagged a little bit. It's going to be Fugly taking down the last player, but Tabson will come in with the wallbang through the wooden panel and kill his teammate. Much to his amusement there.
Absolutely. I don't think it'll matter too much, but it's a little bit annoying when that happens. But we saw some pretty funny team kills out of Freeze yesterday. Although perhaps best not to remember that one. So 3-1 NRG looking pretty solid after losing that pistol round, which is a really great way to start things off. Astralis are definitely a team that can run away with their CT side, and they haven't been given an opportunity to do so just yet. But Device will be picking up that AWP now, and typically you would see him on the A side of the map, but he is a player that does like to move around as well to keep his opponents guessing with that AWP. And it looks like in this round, NRG will, for the early portion at least, be avoiding that dangerous sniper rifle of Astralis on Device. So there's a nice little smoke grenades, couple smoke grenades, create a wall there to allow an easier entry here for NRG into this B bomb site as they storm it. Can they get the entry frags they need? It looks like the defense here from Astralis is very good indeed. Kirby still alive, just Peter left with the AWP. This is not a good look right now for Peter. 1 versus 3. He's got time, but he hasn't got any teammates. He's got to pick up the bomb, and Astralis are starting to set up a perimeter around that dropped bomb, realizing that Peter needs to get that first. That's his clear primary objective. And Peter's going to try to play against the expectation, trying to crawl closer with the AWP, but looks like Device expects it. Picks up the kill, and Astralis, with a very nice defense, will win the round.
Indeed, as soon as those smokes started to rain in, there was a third player basically on the sites already for Astralis, and things got shut down pretty quickly after that. You see all the NRG presence over towards short B, but indeed you see the rotation coming in the top right, top left corner of your screen there. Very nice reads there by Astralis. That could turn out to be a good fake later on from NRG. We'll have to see. They'll be back on the buy though. That is a very strong round for Astralis. Good for their economy as well, surviving in numbers. Peter back on the AWP despite the previous round's failures. And again we see Device and Dupree over towards long A, Carrigan towards toilet, towards the top of connector. Zipex and KRB will be the 2 men holding down the B bomb site. Fugly lurking over there towards Monster at the moment. And you'll often find the T's trying to get somebody into short B, into that water area around the connector door. Or they'll have somebody lurking passively and move into that play a bit later on. It's really strong for both teams to control the short B area. You can see Zipex is currently taking jumping peaks over there. Legia is in connector, so he could make his way into that direction. See how that plays out. Indeed, he'll go for the wallbang where Zipex is trying to peek, and he'll take a little bit of damage.
Yeah, and right now at Astralis, they have a pretty strong setup towards the long area of A, and also they have Zipex, I believe. No, actually, that's Carrigan, who is close on the toilet. So they have a pretty comprehensive setup to try to deny aggression here. But if Peter can get this pick, that would be massive. No, he misses the shot. That is very annoying because that's information here. And you can see Carrigan capitalizes. He peeks, finds Peter's side as Peter was occupied with the other point. And it's going to be Legia who does actually get the trade onto Carrigan. So that's very well done. That's the response that NRG needed to get. And that's going to force the action here. We have Device taking down Legia there on the defense, trying to do what he can with this all close range. Can't get it done. Got B with the entry. And now it's a 3 versus 3. And Astralis, they do have a good chance to try to retake this because they have a lot of points of attack here from the back, from the side, and from the front as well. Ugly will find the initial flanking player. Kirby goes down, but there's still 2 more. Dupree and Zipex coming in. here they are making their way now. That kill from Zipex is going to really mean a great deal as they start to push in, or Dupree rather. They've established exactly what's going on. They know the setup that the T's are playing here. There's Dupree in on God B, trying to cover his teammate. Doesn't know where to look. Zipex gets the frag though. Does he have time? It looks like he will. He's got a kit. That's a 5-second defuse instead of a 10-second defuse without a kit. So Astralis will secure the round with a 3-man retake. Very, very turbulent round there, but they do make it happen in the end.
Yeah, that was an expensive round for the CTs, but indeed they are crushing the economy of the T side now, who are going to find themselves in a difficult situation. They could go for the force buy here. They're going to go for a bit of a half buy. We see grenades being picked up, Kevlar being picked up here and there. But so far, so good for Astralis in the recent rounds. Again, that could have been a bit scary for them, especially how things ended up against SK in one of the 2 maps they had yesterday. But they have managed to right the ship here. And indeed, it's NRGs who will be broken and needing repair. So Device going for a quick pot shot towards the connector area, but now he won't know if Legia is to his left or to his right, and Legia is going to move in just as a nade does, but take minimal damage. We've got 4 players with Kevlar here for NRG, who are moving along the long area, and again, we've seen every round Device of Dupree there, apart from this one. Now the AWP's been lost. That's a big gain for NRG.
It's that slow creep here from NRG. They will find a pretty mighty defense there, but the grenades will start to work in. But back in is Astralis on those frags, not giving anything here to NRG. Legia is quite dangerous with that AWP. We'll have to see if he can do something with that one. He's at the front of the site, but what is this? Again, Tabson with this deagle of his, picking up those headshots. And now it's just down to Kirby. The rest of NRG able to clear up the sites, but Kirby in on this flank, maybe. If he just gets this 1 kill on the surprise, there it is, very fast. Taking down Tabson straight away, but they know where he is now. He does have some time as the bomb only just being planted. There is the first base, the 1-on-1 given to Kirby. They knew he was there. That is definitely not the play you wanted to make, and that gamble is giving Kirby now an opportunity. He's against Legia, who has only 21 points of health. Kirby only needs to connect 1 bullet to the torso, and that is death there for Legia. But Kirby himself is low, and there it is, Legia. He's going to nail it, taking down Kirby, but it was too close, James.
Yeah, I mean, that's he went for Fugly had a 2 versus 1 with his team, so he can play the trade situation on the site.
Just runs out, of course.
Chooses to, peek on his own, and there we go. He leaves his teammate alone with about 21 HP. That was really risky. He has the CZ coming out as well. So that could have been, well, it did turn out to be very problematic, but indeed, they win the round. And again, you have to wonder if it was the right decision to put an AWP in connector when they're expecting an eco coming out. Close quarters, although I'm sure Device is expecting to land a shot in a reasonably tight channel. So now Astralis back on the eco, 2 men down straight away. Tabson's been dinked, but he'll take that.
James, Tabson is just going Terminator mode.
He is
lock on.
He's surprisingly consistent with the deagle because it's not really easy to do that. It doesn't have the best consistency, but he is showing that it is possible. So that's a nice round there from NRG. Very clean round, not losing a single player.
Yeah, usually people that are insane with the deagle are the players that have incredible precision, because you have to be perfect with it. You can't really, there's no, like with a rifle, there's always an element that you can, use the recoil a bit. There's a cloud of bullets you can kind of get in the relative space to take somebody down. But with the deagle, you get 1 bullet and it's going to connect the head, and it's so inconsistent. So Tabson showing there that he has the precision. And I'm really looking forward to seeing how that actually impacts this match against Astralis, because they have a 5-3 lead right now, so they're actually doing fairly well. And speaking of which, Astralis, they don't have much in the way of weaponry to combat this AWP of Peter. There's no sniper rifle on Astralis. The 2 players have inferior rifles in those maps.
Yeah, it's a completely different approach from Astralis. Perhaps if they had the AWP for those longer range engagements, you'd see Dupree and Device over towards long again. But it has been abandoned on this particular round. Dupree creeping around the toilets. We see smokes dropping down, trying to slow down the round, slow down the advance, the taking of areas by the Ts. And that gives him positions to move around as well. He can try to punish every 3rd bullet with these rifles, sends a tracer, so he can try and figure out where the players are based on the tracers and punish them for firing. We may see that come into play later on. It seems that NRG are looking to execute at least grenades over towards the A site. However, the bomb appears to be headed towards B.
Uh-oh, they're going to go in Are they going to go in? It's like dupreeh wants to go in through the smoke here with the flashback. He finds himself behind tabseN. That is a very dead tabseN. There are more players oncoming. dupreeh gets the second kill onto ELEAGUE, traded by gorup. But this is bad here for NRG. Their play gets disrupted before they can really get it going. Very nice proactive moves there from dupreeh. Let's see though if Fugly can save this. He's in the faces of Astralis. Up on this B-bomb side. gorup in there, but he's as quickly out as he is in, thanks to Zipex. Still on Fugly and Peter now. Peter goes for the plant, but he is completely screwed. Can't even secure the bomb plant. And Astralis win the round, and you got to credit dupreeh just finding that moment, going with the gut instinct.
Yeah, you can see him dropping a flashbang into the smoke there, so the NRG side don't see it coming. Has an upward arc, so it's obviously going to hit the floor before it goes off, so he wants it to have, he wants to waste as much time before it hits the floor, so he has as little warning as possible. Unfortunately, he got flashed as well, but did manage to find a kill anyway. So, and that's a problem for NRG that they didn't get the bomb down. That would have been an extra $4,000 for the team. That said, they managed to get out a good buy regardless. 4 AKs at AWP, lots of grenades as well, and lots to do for the side. Device back on the AWP, but still not using long are the Astralis side, continuing to change up their CT formation, not wanting to be telegraphed. They want to keep NRG on their toes, and if Astralis keep changing their CT approach, then it means that NRG have to spend more time clearing out areas, using flashbangs and so on to make themselves as safe as possible. And now we see Device has made his way all the way over towards B, where he's holding down a short position, so NRG will also have to guess where the sniper rifle is. Fugly's going to get his bell rung, so is ELEAGUE. So big damage taken so far from NRG, and indeed, Device announces his position.
Yeah, and that's what we were talking about earlier. Device, he just moves around and makes it really hard to avoid him, because there will be quite a few teams that'll be like, well, we'll just try to avoid that Device guy, but he's going to move to that B-bomb site, back in towards the A-bomb site. All over the place he is, and he might just find the bulk of the push here coming in from NRG from this A-long area. Device is going to be there with his AWP, and he's going to spot these grenades coming over. That's an early warning here, but it will be a smoke grenade, so that will obscure Device's ability to shoot down this long tunnel, and instead he'll turn his attention further inward towards the toilets area. However, NRG are starting to get ready for the push here. The nades are going to start to sail in. Device is going to need a hand here, close range. And we get karrigan pushing through the smoke this time. He'll get one kill there before traded by Peter. And Device holds an angle steady, trusting his teammates to cover his back as he tries to take these shots. And there is smoke everywhere now. And there's only 10 seconds left to plant the bomb. This is taking too long here for NRG. The bomb is going to hit the floor, and it doesn't even matter. Everyone will fall there for the NRG side. Another good defense and another round where NRG just waits.
Yeah, I think if it was 5, well, if the numbers were equal on both sides, then maybe they would have had a better time with playing the clock like that, but they already had a man disadvantage, which means it's going to be even harder for them to run the clock down and be successful. And maybe karrigan, knowing that, charges through the smoke, using that one-man advantage to see if his team needs to go for a rotation or not, to kill players, take them by surprise. Works out for Astralis greatly. We see karrigan now going for the MP9. He knows the team are on eco, and he's buying this gun because he expects him to be eco. It allows him to have better moving accuracy. It's a cheaper gun, so if he goes down, doesn't matter so much. He can get information for his team, and he can make more money killing these players in this particular round as well. So lots to be had here for karrigan. We may see aggressive play from him because of that. We see Zipex, he's jumping on the sandbags. Oh, ELEAGUE is going to take massive damage there, down to 24 HP. Follow-up spray as well, but ELEAGUE wasn't moving in time. He'd be lucky to get one of those shots.
Absolutely. And it won't be given away. It looks like Zipex is going to get the spot, actually, and go for the shot through the wooden panel to eliminate ELEAGUE. So that's one player down before NRG can get close to the bomb site, and they don't have any grenades to really get them into position either. So in that sense, they're just looking to try to kill a few players, weaken the economy of Astralis, forcing them to buy up in the next round. But it looks so far so good for Astralis. They are picking up all these frags with almost no damage taken even, as the Device is going to get challenged here towards this A-bomb side. Actually whiffing a couple shots, pulls out the CZ75, and that will be enough to take down both remaining players of NRG. And now it's time for, I think it should be time for a buy here for NRG. There's the penetration kill there from Zipex. Very nicely done.
Device is missing tons of shots. He's top fragging for his team, but he's missing loads of shots. And again, it's still early days here. 5-6. NRG aren't doing terrible on their T side, excuse me, by any means. So Device is going to have to be more successful if he is to help keep Astralis in this game. Otherwise, they may have some issues going forward. ELEAGUE is raising his hand. I think he has some kind of issue. And so I'm not sure if this is going to count as live. Everyone's backing off into T-spawn, so indeed, I imagine that this round's probably going to be restarted. One can only imagine what issue he has.
Or perhaps this is just next level strategy, James.
tabseN's on the ladder, Dan. Maybe we can cast that. tabseN's on the ladder, and he's still on the ladder, Dan. Over to you, Dan.
Maybe he's lining something up. Is that a can of paint?
Maybe he's
On the
lining up
ladder.
to kind of paint that.
I suppose there is some very nice graffiti on the wall, but looks like white paint, James.
Interestingly, not far from that position, you can throw Molotovs towards Monster to stop the smoke grenades that the CTs throw from CT spawn, bouncing into Monster to choke it off. You can throw it on the train tracks, so the ladder has a purpose there. It is a point of reference. So Karrigan's keyboard has disconnected, which is why the pause is coming in.
It happens sometimes.
Indeed. I actually use...
Cables, man.
I have equipment
What are
now. Often you find, like, for gaming equipment, you have, like, mice that require software, keyboards that require software, but now I have a mouse that doesn't require software, and a keyboard that doesn't require software either. But my keyboard often disconnects because I play on a bureau, Dan, because I'm a boss. You know, you got to play on a bureau. But it's a little bit awkward, so sometimes I push my keyboard and the cable comes out. But I can pop it back in, and I'm good to go. I'm good to go, Dan.
Yeah.
Whereas I think if you have, you know, something that requires software, you know, like operating systems can be weird. You unplug something, you plug it into somewhere else, and it's like, I need to install this all over again, even though it's already installed.
Yeah, a lot of mice and keyboards have drivers already integrated inside of the actual device these days, which is pretty awesome.
Is that a picture of Karrigan on his mouse pad?
Does
The
he?
caricature, yeah.
Surely not.
It appears.
That'd be
so.
awesome. Yeah, there's some really cool caricatures there of the Astralis guys.
Oh no,
I think it's the one under the keyboard.
Oh, he's got two, yeah. Actually, you see his mouse pad is going just over the edge of the keyboard, the table, sorry. Often you'll find tables with sharp edges. So obviously you'll have your forearm resting on there. So they put the mouse pad over the corner to make it a bit more comfortable. So indeed, there is a bit of a caricature going on
James,
there.
look at this cable management. That is some magnificent cable management. There's no tangles there. There's no spaghetti over there.
I see one hoop on the mouse. There is a hoop on the mouse. You're a liar.
But that's fine.
You're a fraud.
That's fine though.
You're a liar on a fraud.
Sometimes you like a good hoop on the mouse wire. I use a mouse bungee, so I'm hoopless. But
You're a hoopless man, Dan.
yes,
Not to be confused with a hopeless man.
no.
That wouldn't be good.
Well, sometimes it depends. Depends on the day, James.
Well, all right then. So you can see Gobby making the most. He is an efficient in-game leader. He's barking commands to his team.
And
Do
it's funny
this.
because
I'm Gobby, and you're going to do this.
because James says that in commentary. You know, sometimes maybe there can be the element of exaggerating things or some hyperbole when James says that. But no, not with Gobby. There's no hyperbole there. He's literally barking orders at his soldiers.
Why not? That's how it should be. So NRG with no AWP in this particular round, and indeed we will continue at round 12. Not much had happened, and again we see Astralis moving quite aggressively at the beginning towards the top of connector. Karrigan there looking for information, but slowly moving back, as is the norm on Astralis. But again, Astralis are keeping NRG guessing as to their composition, mainly towards upper and device as well. Device is a big question mark, I think, for the T's at the moment. That door's been opened up. I think it's been naded off, actually, which means that boost you saw previously, they can, if ELEAGUE moves forward in an untimely fashion, then he could have been shot in the leg by Device there. And indeed, Device is rotating all over the map. So he seems to be the can opener for Astralis against NRG. And there we go. He was just on B, now he goes up towards A, and Gobby gets taken down from a boost, no less. We used to actually see Edward Fanavi. He used to jump on that corner every single round, but no one ever looked at demos and punished him for doing so. But Device, he's everywhere, Dan.
Yeah, he really is, and that position is very exploitable. We're starting to see it more and more, and so that might change. But we have a Suez hold here, a forward hold from the CT side of Astralis, and it's Kirby only getting a single frag. Zipex actually was quite close to him, but perhaps he had a grenade in his hand, and he wasn't able to do much more than, I think he just traded the one frag. So that's going to do for now, but boom, there it is, Dupree coming in with Zipex, and that is ELEAGUE very dead, catching these Ts of NRG from 2 spots at once. What can they do? In goes Peter there, fantastic shot up high, but it is all for naught as dupreeh will end up neutralizing him and sending him back to the bench. And now it's Astralis with 7 rounds and NRG with 5. And if you consider NRG's start, which was fairly decent, Astralis are definitely showing their class now that they're getting more money and more control here. And boom, it is the snap from Devices. gorup, he had his head poking through the foliage, James, but gotta respect the foliage.
People get rested for that, Dan.
As they should.
Yeah. So NRG having a difficult time once again, and we see aggression coming in. Fugly looking away, expecting a flashbang, but there's no flash. Raw peaks coming in here from Device, and they will be eaten raw, will NRG. Only gorup remaining. He's got the bomb though, and now he's dead. A very fast round, finished off quickly. Pistols will be collected by the Astralis side. Then we move into the last 2 rounds of the first half.
Yeah, so Astralis, doing the job they need to do to get decisive advantage. However, it can still be turned around somewhat by NRG. Of course, they could still get up to 7 rounds. It would be very, very difficult considering the fact that Astralis have so much money at the moment that NRG can't really force them to a situation where they're going to be on pistols, where they're getting really easy time to win the round. It's going to be really hard fought rounds back to back against the full strength of Astralis. So if NRG pull it off, it will be an impressive feat. ELEAGUE is going to be speeding towards the connector area where we can see Devices waiting up on those stairs. A very important area of the map. It can control rotations from the A side to the B side of the map. So that gives the T side a lot of options if you can control this, which is why we've got Device here trying to lock it down in ELEAGUE. It's going to secure that control. But Karrigan, he is so far forward, incredibly aggressive. How on earth has he found his way this far forward? They have no idea he's there. This is ridiculous. He's going to get spotted by Peter and eliminated, and that is a huge opportunity for Astralis now down the drain.
It is indeed, and they have 3 players left, which means they don't have enough eyes to spot where the T's are moving. You see gorup moving towards long, and dupreeh is charging in his direction. Player spotted, but that's not the bomb, so they won't know what's going on. And Fugly takes out Zipex towards B, and gorup takes out dupreeh towards A. So the last man has no idea what's going on. It's gorup. He has to guess as to where the bomb might be. All 3 players for NRG moving towards A. Peter positioning for a flank, as gorup does indeed come in through connector, but maybe with a read.
He's smart.
He holds an angle.
Yeah, Kirby's smart. He actually realizes that there's very likely a player there because he knows, well, he can presume knowledge, but he can understand, okay, I know what NRG has seen and what they expect. And look at this guy. He knows exactly what's going on. Beautiful spray line. Doesn't get the frag, but the grenade will finish it off. So the frag will be won there. So that just shows you the smarts of this kid as he moves forwards now, trying to get this 1 versus 2. gorup very weak. There's no AWP in the hands of tabseN either. So it's very doable here for Kirby, but time is really of the essence. That bomb is about to explode. There's the first frag, but not really the time to get the next one, even though gorup was so weak. So Kirby did very well to get the damage that he could, but NRG will secure this round. And what a crazy round it was. Aggression all over the place. But NRG, they take number 6.
On the plus side, gorup killing that second last player makes gorup have to rotate back towards the site just in case a hero diffuse is coming in. gorup only had 10 HP, so he died. So that's a little bit of extra damage done to the CT economy as we move into the last round. Yeah. And you see Peters now on a UMP. If gorup survived that round, they would have had at least 5 AKs. But that small kill, that small point might play into this round with the limited weaponry that NRG now have.
Yeah, and the kill you saw on the replay there, if Peter doesn't get that, I mean, Karrigan takes basically a massive risk to pretty much win the round. So Peter getting that frag makes it incredibly favorable for his team. So clutch shots, clutch plays, and nice smokes. Wall of smokes onto the B-bomb side. We've seen this before. But will NRG use this to kind of bait rotation? Because they aren't going for the push here. They're trying to fake out Astralis at the moment and trying to cause them to move around out of their strong positions towards A. And Astralis know what's up right now. They've got 3 players towards this A bomb site still. Fugly, though, will take down Kirby. He was looking for information. Kirby trying to confirm what was going on from NRG. But NRG can still rotate back to B right now. They have the time to do that, and with the kill onto Kirby, having forced Kirby to run the information play, they might decide to do that, but no, they're going to move it into the AWP of Karrigan instead, and this is definitely going to be tough now. Even with the smokes, Karrigan has a perfect position. There's a second kill as well. Here is the third player. Karrigan wins the shot, and ELEAGUE will get it, but Device in with a trade. Can't pick up the next one. It's Zipex, though, who will do so, and with the aid of dupreeh coming in as well, it's going to be really tough here for Fugly. 1 versus 2. Looks like he wants to line up a smoke, though, and there it is. Here he goes, straight into dupreeh's rifle.
Just at the end there, we saw that Karrigan was AWPing instead of Device, and that shows the power of having their in-game leader back in the roster after missing the first day. You know, last year we saw Karrigan doing much more AWPing, but obviously Device has become the primary AWPer, but Device has missed loads of shots, so maybe that's why Karrigan has picked it up in that particular round, and it paid off very well. So they will take the last round of the first half, 9-6. Astralis will lead NRG as we move into the second half. But first we will have a little break coming up, so we'll see you after that to see if NRG can bring things back to 9-9, or if Astralis will march off with the first game in this best of 3.
The team side of Astralis, at least their money's not as good, so then eventually when you win a round, Astralis are going to have less options because their buy's going to be worsened. But now, you know, it's time. AWP to Peter, and here it is. Kirby is going to be leading the charge here with Karrigan to try to take over this connector area by the stairs. It's Buckley with the first frag there onto Karrigan. Kirby trades it though, and that is now a very solid presence for Astralis in that middle area on the map. And at the same time, NRG experiencing a lot of pressure here. Astralis just going straight into the B site. There's complete chaos here. Dupree, the entry fragger for Astralis, able to pick up one of those entry frags. But now things calm down a little bit as Astralis take the bomb site. NRG withdrawing slightly, but Peter's back in here with the AWP. Absolute non-stop madness from both sides as ELEAGUE plays around the barrels, and this site is still heavily contested by the NRG side. And Astralis, they've got time. Do they keep pressing or do they give up? Looks like they have to keep pressing. Zipex there, and it looks like somehow NRG clean up. What was that, James? It's just non-stop madness.
I didn't see anything, Dan, apart from people dying everywhere. 3 people survived for NRG, but it's worth noting Astralis didn't buy, where the players had guns, they had submachine guns. They didn't buy up the bigger guns, they did not buy up the AKs. They all had about $6,000 in the bank each, so they're going to have no issue buying in this round as well. So NRG, you can see they're pretty hyped up, they're really happy with that victory, but that's no sweat for Astralis. Now the big guns are coming out. Now we've got 4 AKs in the AWP.
And it's going to be a question of how Astralis want to attack, and there's lots of options indeed. We have Kirby moving forwards here in the fountain area, but oh my god, Buckley just getting flashed in there.
He's face palming, Dan. He's face palming pretty hard. His hand is, I don't know, between his, well, his head's between his legs. He is disappointed. That was a full spray. That's a kill he should get all day. All day, Dan. They can't afford to make mistakes like that when they're 5 rounds down already.
And it's such a show of not necessarily disrespect, but it's a lack of respect there from NRG saying, you know what, we are very confident to just throw aggression at you. We're not going to fear your work with the rifles, with those AWPs, even if you're expecting us. And as James mentioned, that really should have been a kill there. And now Fugly is going to be sat on the bench watching his teammates try to deal with the situation he has left them in, which is a situation with no grenades, although they do have the guns. So they're going to have to hit the shots. There's not much more to be said than that. And they have a 2-man setup here to NRG on their defense on this toilets area. There it is, Gobby, and he's got Peter behind him with the AWP, that sniper rifle. And Gobby is lying in wait behind the smoke. He's going to spot the first one. That's the bomb as well. Good information. Gobby has another player coming. He's flashed, but what is this? Carrier spins around, and Gobby gets an easy kill. And all of a sudden, Astralis are in a horrible situation.
Yeah, that mini situation has changed everything. Karrigan gambling for the kill. Device coming in from the back. There's still potential here. 25 seconds. The bomb can still go down here. Device needs to find one more frag. Taking Aristo, going for the wide peek, and Peter comes in from the side. And down he goes. Kirby with 6 HP has a decision to make. Does he try and save his AK? Because if he dies after the time runs out, then he's going to have no money. He's going to get no loss bonus. He's going to be broke. Indeed, he is going to take that gamble and move away as much as possible. And this is a crucial round for NRG because their money was all over the place, and it's very important for them that they win this round because you have to wonder where Fugly's psyche would be after having such a bad start to that round.
Yes, definitely a really, really important one. I mean, that's the kind of round in which, if they lose it, Astralis they've almost won the game already.
He couldn't even see that. He was blind.
Yeah, of course, and you can see that. Fugly is disappointed, James. And you can actually, you were right. His head was pretty much between his legs there. That is disappointment, James.
Well, this is weird. We've seen, I want to say we've seen Hiko do this. Fugly's bought a Bison. He's clearly lost his mind, Dan, because he's bought a Bison. Now, the thing about Bison is it's got 64 bullets in one magazine. That is absolutely ridiculous. But the bullets are like shooting paper when people have armor and helmets. If they have maybe they have a reader as also going for an eco, in which case it would make sense, and you could just spam. You could literally spam for days, Dan. You have your own spam army with that one gun, but since they have forced up, since they've got the AKs, he is going to get wrecked.
Yep, absolutely. I mean, the Spud gun is not much we can expect.
It is the potato gun.
Yeah, it's just a really weird purchase, and one even may presume it's an error, it's a mistake, but we'll have to see. Either way, we have a forward control here from NRG in the Suez position, which is to the left of Kirby down that tunnel, and it is an important position. If Astralis want to set up an attack into this B bomb site, which is the area that they're in at the moment, they need to take that area over, and it looks like actually NRG going to give it up. They're not confident to hold it. The smokes are going to go away. They don't have much to defend it with, not much in the way of grenades, utility, so they're going to back away, allow Astralis to occupy the Suez spot, and you can see Carrigan's going to set up the smoke grenade, and in goes the push here. 5 versus 3. There are some weak players here for Astralis, but let's see if gorup can gun them down. Actually, it's a bit of a fake here. They've actually tried to just pull the rotation, and it's worked. The rotation here from gorup, I think it's actually Peter, the AWPer. He's not on the A site. He can't even take a shot, and now they're going to smoke off the A site. They've beaten the rotation. There's no defenders, and NRG just going to hold their hands up and say, well, you guys, you've outplayed us. You can have it.
Dan, they bought a package of laptops, but they were delivered a washing machine full of bricks, Dan. A broken washing machine at that. They've been sold again. That's brutal. That's absolutely brutal. At least Fugly managed to upgrade his Bison to an AK, and it's possible that he had a misbuy there because he had $950 in the hole earlier on, and for that he could have bought a P90 instead, which would have had much more utility. He could have kept it on the normal rounds as well. But yeah, but the P90 is number 4 in the SMGs, and the Bison's number 5. So if a mistake has been made, then it's probably that one.
Well, as you mentioned, it looks very good for them to save these 3 guns, and they are very good guns. An AWP for Peter and 2 AK-47s, very powerful one-shot kill weapon if you connect it to the head, whereas the stock rifles of the CT side do not do that. So that is it's a nice little addition for them.
We have a pause coming in as the coach, I think for Astralis, his computer exploded. Didn't really explode. I'm just trying to add some drama here. It's on fire, it's exploded. No, it hasn't. You can see him sitting there. If there was a fire, Dan, if there was a fire, I'm sure he would be far away from the computer.
The funny thing though is Sonic, I don't think he probably just would be sat there like that. I think maybe we see like one eyebrow slightly raised, but I don't think the human eye could detect it, James, because this guy, I don't think he has any emotions. He is Stone Cold Killer, and this is a great time though for a timeout regardless, tactical wise, because Astralis, they have 13 rounds. They know that NRG have this buy situation. This is a period where either NRG are able to hold on to this situation with if just compiling all the information they have right now, making a really good call with this timeout, or they could maybe try to get themselves back into it. Or if they lose this round, Astralis have pretty much won this map. So crucial moments here.
Yeah, still 5 rounds behind, and the money is pretty important for both teams. More of an issue for NRG. This smoke you see put down by Fugly, where dupree's standing, it's hard to face that smoke because the CTs can hide behind it and see over the top, but the Ts can't do the same. So indeed, dupree looking for players doing exactly that. We have Fugly over towards long now, trying to hold things down there. Peter with a nice early frag onto Carrigan, so good advantage, but can they hold it? Fugly a bit out of position now, trying to reposition. Nobody there to punish for his sake. He gets out of dodge. dupree still hunting, however.
Indeed, no one to punish. The disciplinary committee has not arrived just yet. We have Astralis in a spot where they don't really want to mess around too much at this point. They kind of need to get some map control with these 4 players they have remaining. They need to gain some positioning because they are down a man. They can't afford to be down yet another man before they're on a bomb site.
Look how deep Device is. He's all the way through to long, and Peter's headed in his direction. Fugly putting in great work now, so he's hasn't been deterred by previous mishaps. Another frag for Fugly. Can't get a third though. Device going to even things up there. Down goes gorup as well. 2 versus 2, and the NRG out of position, going to have to rotate. But Astralis will need to be careful of their 6. They have no idea if anybody's behind them, but here comes Tapson and his teammate as well. Spray down coming in. Zipex gets dispatched of, and NRG are going absolutely nuclear over there.
Yeah, that looked like Zipex was reloading, and that's kind of a problem because if Zipex gets a pretty fast kill there, he has a one-on-one after that, so pretty problematic situation to be in. But you can see the kind of danger of this guy Device. It's such an epic 3 kill from him. And this is the reason why Astralis are so dangerous sometimes. He can just explode. And it was a situation where they were like 2 versus 5 pretty much, and he gets 3 kills. It's 2 versus 3 and very winnable. So
it's great to see Device doing so well with the rifles as well. I think he tweeted yesterday and said that he was enjoying getting to do a bit more rifling. Obviously, he has been on the AWP for most of it, and you see how important it is for the team. Great 3K for him in the previous round. 4-round lead now. NRG starting to catch up. It's never over until it's over. Both teams back on the bye. We've got limited grenades though for Astralis. Karrigan and Device both with just 1 flashbang.
And the problem is that for both teams is that neither team has any money. So whoever loses this round is on an eco round. They won't be able to buy anything. And that means it's an easy run for the team facing up against that. And well, let's see if Kirby here for Astralis can get the entry frag, because Tabson's looking for this, and he's going to be able to back away to safety. He realized that engagement sucks. He's going to get out of there and reposition to this sort of headshot angle, use the Molotov perhaps to try to hold on to this position. And looks like NRG have a good read on the situation. They have 3 players towards this B bomb site currently. And dupreeh, he's the entry man, and again, he's going to be performing just that. Picks up the kill against Tabson, and he'll dart behind the smoke set down by the CTs. And that is a steal and a half there from Astralis. dupreeh getting in and getting out with a frag. So now Astralis have a minute left to make a call, and they have an advantage to use.
We have to bear in mind Device's position once again. While all this harassment's going on towards B, he can do a number of things. He can flank the A side or just check if it's clear while these frags come in for both sides. But again, Device is just creeping towards A now. He's going to see that it's clear, and we are surely going to see the rotation. Look how passive the bomb is over here. Kirby can pick it up and rotate towards A. Device is coming in for the flank now. This is absolute madness, and dupreeh still holding down short B. The CT side are completely stuck in the B bomb site, and they have no idea. Now we have dupreeh going to rescue the bomb and bring it over. Karrigan's on A as well, so we've got massive problems here.
Yeah, this is really annoying right now because dupreeh has, I mean, if he wants to get onto a site, he can only get onto B right now, and his teammates are not there. The time is just not with them. Sure, Device can get kills here, but dupreeh has to plant in the next 10 seconds, but Device is going to annihilate everybody. Looks like dupreeh knew that he was there, but ELEAGUE gets the kill. All he has to do is survive now. There might just be enough time to plant the bomb. Let's have a look. Karrigan needs 3.5 seconds to plant this. He has just enough. He's made it, and now ELEAGUE has a situation where he's got 15 points of health. And he's going to re-enter this bomb site if he wants to save the day, but he realizes that's next to impossible. He's going to back away and cut his losses, save the AK-47, because his team is dead broke.
I thought disaster had struck there, Dan. That bomb goes down. I mean, very good estimate. Surprised he didn't get the wall bang there, but that could have been absolutely disastrous. But indeed, disaster will strike, but it will be on the NRG side. We're going to see Astralis moving towards round 14 in the first map of this best of 3. Let's have a look at the shenanigans going on here on the T side as well. Yeah. Looking over in towards B bomb site. And again, Astralis just have a great hold on the entire map. You can see the minimap in the top left there. While they have 3 people harassing the B bomb site, Device is just creeping towards A, creeping towards A. And then because the time runs out, I think if they had more time, the bomb rotates, but because they don't, they're in a really weird position, but then they have Device all the way into A, so he can go for the flank, take down the players, maim the defenses, and then just about take things over the line.
Yeah, and it's really cool to see as well when you have these role players, you know, people like dupreeh, when they truly embody that sort of stuff. And when dupreeh has a good game, what that means is that Astralis are getting loads of opportunities to win rounds. And you can see that that's really coming to fruition. And we have a situation where NRG don't have the best buy in the world. They do have an AWP at the very least, so Peter will be quite key in their defense. He's going to be pushing towards Suez, and there's not too many people there. Karrigan might spot a quick kill here, able to get forward positioning into the B-bomb site. Now this is going to be very annoying for the CTs. They're going to have to dart back to this site now that it's been lost, and you can see that that's very, very tough to do. Zipex is there, takes down ELEAGUE. Tabson onto Zipex though, and Karrigan now has no support. dupreeh comes in a little bit late, and all of a sudden NRG are just knocking him down like dominoes, one after another.
And they survived with 4 players as well. They had 3 rifles at the beginning of that round, and they're going to pick up loads of toys. But that shows you the importance of holding short B. All the CTs move into there after losing Monster, and that means they have a crossfire because they have control of the water here. We've got B. So great work by them. Nice smoke going down as well, and he just creeps around it and causes absolute havoc. 3 UMP kills, lots of money for him as well. So NRG, they lose an important round, they win a desperate round, 4 rounds between these 2 sides, and now Astralis are broke.
Yeah, and to some extent it also feels like Astralis rushed their decision-making a little bit there, just because Karrigan got it. Karrigan had this spot where he realized he could get in really close, and he made the gut call, but I don't think necessarily would have been the right one, but that is ridiculous there. Sure, you know, they don't have any guns here, but that's going to feel amazing for Peter. Hits a great shot, and that's 1 player less to worry about. And you always have to worry about teams of this caliber, even though they have just pistols. Those deagles can be dangerous, but there's another one out for the count. Kirby hits the ground cold as Peter is just continuing his streak of chaos. Another one, Dupree goes down, and Peter is trying to get that highlight reel with this AWP. Another player to challenge Peter, misses this one, but here is perhaps another one to add to the tally. Zipex is nearby, looking for those deagle shots. Can he get another frag here for the Astralis side to weaken that NRG economy? Peter on the angle, although just turning away just at the wrong moment, but here he comes back again, and Zipex toys with them. But he is not long for this world, James, against 4 players who are heavily armed. But he will try to do what he can, just being annoying.
Someone's coming in from the back then.
Absolutely.
Someone is coming in from the back. We saw the smoke earlier on where Peter got the AWP shot off over the top of, and we mentioned that previously. You can't really see the CTs in that position from the other side. And they can move along the rail towards that party area, so it's really hard to even if you have an AK, it's hard to spray people down who might be behind there because there's so much area for them to use. And now we see a second AWP coming out for NRG as they claw back against Astralis, but Astralis are back on. They have to double eco here because their lost bonuses reset. They're not getting enough money for losing rounds, which means they have to lose more rounds before they can have a good buy.
But James, we have 3 deagles here. We've got 3 deagles out of Astralis. Could be some fun shenanigans in play, and there you go. Carrigan gets it done with the P250, takes down Peter. So that's actually another player going down. Dupree getting one with a deagle. So Device, he's stolen away in AWP. That is a massive moment. Dupree has picked up an AK-47 as well. This spells much trouble here for NRG.
We saw the same thing on the CT side for Astralis. They had Device go into connector when the Ts were on eco, missed the shot, got taken down, AWP stolen. Now we see the same thing. The coin has flipped, the shoe is on the other foot. And we find ourselves in a 3 versus 3. So this is super awkward for NRG. Again, we saw Calamity on train from them this week. They can't afford to lose this round. Not like this either.
Not like this indeed. And Godby, he's hungry for information at the moment, but the risk to peak is too much. If he goes down, that is the round potentially over. So you've got to be very cautious in a position like this. And there's Kirby. Fugly will be spotted behind the door, but he'll win the frag. That lack of Kevlar really paying off there for, well, paying off for Fugly at least.
No armor means if they get shot, then their crosshair's going to fly all over the place. It makes it really hard to shoot accurately, almost impossible.
The recoil goes nuts.
20 seconds left, and we see the bomb is all the way at the wrong end of long, and Specs is going to have to get his skates on and hope for a downhill because he needs to get onto that site quickly. And again, there's a man disadvantage. Even if the bomb goes down here for Astralis, Device is going to have to play out of his skin, but we've seen him miss tons of shots with the AWP already. If he misses one, this round could be over.
Absolutely, and the bomb will go down. Device has the AWP. He is the playmaker for the team, but he's not going to be able to make any plays. It's down to Zipex. Nice tag, but Deke gets the frag, and he'll win the round for NRG. They'll bring it back here, 12-14, 2 away from Astralis, but Astralis are 2 away from victory. And with the bomb going down in that way, that's going to give an extra $800 per player in bonus to the money that Astralis will also get from losing rounds, which is at this point going to be $2,400. So Astralis with some money to play with now, and that could spell trouble for NRG. We'll have to see. I got a feeling, James, that Astralis are going to speed up the pace here. But we'll have to see if they decide that that's the right call. But we don't have an AWP here for Device, so...
NRG have won 3 of the last rounds in a row. 4 of the last 5. They've run a fair few amount of the rounds. Astralis have only got 2 rounds in the last 8, I think. So NRG are clawing things back bit by bit. But again,
yep.
Astralis are back on the buy now. They had a double eco, we have to bear that in mind, and they are still dangerously close to taking things over the line here. Double ops continue onto Peter and Legia.
And it's really good that they took the time out just there to discuss some tactics, to get on the same page, and also to calm down a little bit just to make sure they can bring it over the line against NRG, because they know that they have the double ops going in. I'm fairly sure that they realize that. So Astralis will try to design a play that will be very strong against that, or to try to deny those ops spots to shoot. A good way to do that is by using smokes to obscure vision and forcing close range engagements where the orbs are weaker.
Or fire. Fire's always good.
Fire is great, James.
People don't appear to like being on fire, Dan.
No.
All right. Fugly. He has a precarious position, and it's not going to work out in any shape or form. Shot straight in the face by Dupree. That's a closed casket funeral for him. early advantages for Astralis, so they've got a minute 20 to play with. And again, we've seen them sell loads of fakes to NRG in this half so far, and it's caused many problems for the NRG side. And we'll see if that continues now. NRG with decisions to make, gambles to take, with a man down, 2 sites to defend. The 2 ops continue though. That smoke again will deny the range, as Dan said earlier. And Astralis taking things slowly for the time being. Still got Zipex lurking outside the monster tunnel, but they will look to take short B.
And it's almost a little bit gambling right now because NRG don't have, at this point, enough information to confirm where Astralis are going, but they're putting 3 of their players on the A-bomb site. It is harder to retake the A-bomb site than the B-bomb site, which will be one of the factors in that decision that they have made. But Astralis start to move towards the B-bomb site where just Legia is. If he dies quickly, the round could just be over.
Legia's got tons of problems here. You can see he's trying to hold down Monster Tunnel, connect the door, and the rest of B short on his own, and he's not having much success. The players are encroaching on his position. Kirby comes up, misses the shot, got Zipex as well, won't get that one. Tabson's gone down in the meantime. 5 versus 2 now. NRG are stuck. They can't even save. They're stuck on the site.
But actually, it looks like the Astralis are moving into the only place where there are still players here, and Peter gets 2 frags out of that. That's a massive result, and the bomb needs to be planted. Astralis is carrying and just gets it down in the nick of time, but Goppy's still alive on the side, and he's got no players near him. He could just hold the defuse right now if he had a kit, but he doesn't have a defuse kit. It's that full 10-second defuse, and it looks like it probably wouldn't have mattered anyway. Zipex and Kirby come in and save the day. What a crazy situation there. Astralis going 15-12 now away. A round away from winning this map.
That was a modern tragedy over towards the A side. Peter puts in great work. Goppy's like, I got this, guys. I don't got this. I got no kit.
Absolutely.
It's brutal. They still have a buy though. They still have another AWP coming out onto Peter, but the limitations are in it. It's 1 AWP. Tabson's down to a FAMAS. Peter's lacking on nades, but he's AWPing, so that's not a massive problem as long as he's got a smoke to deploy later on. And you can see him pushing down long now. Fugly's playing alone again, which is always dangerous, especially over towards A.
And another thing that didn't quite fit NRG in that last round was the AWP on Legia. You know, he's not going to be as proficient as Peter. It's not going to feel as... I mean, you're talking about shoes, James, and them being on people's feet. Well, that would have been a shoe that won't fit Legia nearly as well as it will Peter. And I think we saw that there. 2 frags that were up for grabs there that were missed out upon. And now it is, again, match or game point for Astralis. Carrigan looking to try to entry frag here with the help of Dupree, who's going to be able to go first. And there it is. Carrigan hits the, misses the shot. Like it will get away there. But the key information for NRG will be that there was a presence of at least 2 or 3 players there. So Astralis with a lot of time left, they're going to backpedal and try to find another opening. And Fugly's going aggressive.
Look at this rotation from the T's. They have completely abandoned the A site. Maybe expecting some aggression. Fugly going to avoid the flashbang, take down device. It's going to be hard for him to run away, though. Using the boulder as much as he can. He's doing what he can. He's got Peter coming in for support as well, but not fast enough. He's going to go down as Fugly. And now Astralis have a decision to make. Kiabi finds himself stuck behind the boulder, and he will run for dear life through the flames, no less. And now it seems Astralis are going to be moving back towards the bomb site. But again, they abandoned it earlier. They won't know if anybody is in towards short B. Dupree might have to wait here for his team to come in through the tunnel so they can go for a double peek just in case. We see Legia on the site. Tabson's there as well. There are 20 seconds left for Astralis to push and get the bomb down.
Absolutely, and Carrigan's going first. He's going entry mode with the AWP. He's going to get taken down by Tabson. Kirby in, though, with an entry of his own, but it looks like really good work here. There's too much delay. The bomb needs to be planted immediately. Again, 3.5 seconds required to plant it, and it's not going to happen. Dupree is just going to try to get some frags here, do some extra damage, and try not to die after the time as well. If you are on the terrorist side and you die after time has been called, then you will receive no round loss bonus. You'll get no money. It's not the case for the CTs, but NRG, they hold on once again, and you can see this is the key defensive play. Coming in from Tabson, there's the 2 kills that make all the difference here, as Tabson delays the bomb plant, and that's a wrap. 15-13, Astralis still trying to get their victory here, but with less to work with.
Dan, we have another Bison on Fugly, and he's got $1,250 in the hole. So it seems he is deliberate, Dan. He must be some kind of pervert here, because he's buying in all the wrong situations. We have armor on all the Astralis players once again. So that Bison doesn't make sense, because it's like death by paper cuts, and it will need a great many paper cuts. It has 64 bullets in the magazine, but I'm not sure if that's enough paper cuts, Dan. That said, Dupree goes down to Tabson so far. We've got smoke splashes all over the place. Absolute madness and variance once again. Legia goes down immediately. Fugly now coming in with the Bison again. The paper's here, Dan, but the paper gets no kills, no cuts to be had. 3 versus 2. We've got AWP and a UMP here for NRG's putting work. More flashbangs, more blind people, flames all over the place. 2 versus 2. Lots of time for Astralis to do this, but they need to find the kills. Got B with a flying UMP. That's absolutely absurd. 1 player left now. Kiabi, half health, even less, almost a quarter. 2 fully health players remain. Peter holding angles while Gobby continues to try and cause shenanigans here. More tags coming in for Kiabi, a little bit. Can he get himself a 1 versus 1? Does he know where Peter is? All he's seen, as far as I can tell, is Gobby and his blasted UMP.
But it is Kiabi. He's been pretty consistent here. Almost finding that frag. He looks for the second. He nails Peter. Just one more player to find. Gobby very low with that UMP. And Kiabi, he's shown his smarts. And he's shown his execution. Here it is, and there it is. The frag goes the way of Kiabi. He'll secure it. Map 1 will go to Astralis. 16-13 on Overpass. There is still a cash to be had, but NRG, they gave it a hell of a good show there. Perhaps much better a performance than was expected against the powerhouse from Denmark. That is Astralis.
They did what they could. They went for, you know, a hard-fought comeback, but it just couldn't get it deep enough before Astralis could take it over the line. But I do question, you know, you're against game point. Why is the Bison coming out in that situation when you can buy a P90? It doesn't make any sense to me. 16-13, Astralis take game 1 in this best of 3. Again, it's not over yet for either side. NRG can still bring their way back into this, but they have no choice but to win the next 2 maps. We'll see you after the break.
Yes, welcome back to the semi-finals of ELEAGUE. You can see that Astralis, 1 map in the books versus NRG, but it wasn't easy. Lots to talk about indeed, and you can see concerned looks on their faces. We're concerned on the desk here. I got
Some of us are what we might call tilted.
Yeah, I got a little bit fired up.
This way. Can you tell us what's wrong?
Where to start?
If you want to analyze this match,
well, look, let's start. Okay, there's a proud tradition in North American Counter-Strike. It's what we call you lose 2 and barbecue, and that's you turn up, you lose your 2 games, and then you've got nothing to do with the LAN event except you know, have a barbecue and have a good time. So, so here we go. This is what it looks like.
We haven't lost yet.
Yeah. I don't know what's going on there. Is that a bit or is that hot sauce on me?
How'd you get it on your forehead?
Now we know why.
I don't know. I really don't know.
Headbutting some chicken wings.
I like how angry Mo is. Like,
That's how I
get
eat.
away from my chicken.
That's how I eat.
But anyway, that is the pictorial representation of North American Counter-Strike for the last however many years. And look, I just want to get right into this. We should be talking about an upset map here. We should be talking about NRG with one in the books. Or we should at least be saying, what a great overtime. It just blows my mind how many mistakes they made.
This is how he got the chicken
Here's
sauce
the
on his
thing.
forehead.
I thought Astralis played way below their average play, honestly, on this specifically on this map. But then again, that should mean that NRG takes full advantage and wins it. And time and time again, they did what you considered just a complete throw, which is But I mean, I know you want to mention this a couple times. The buying of guns that shouldn't be on the
right.
map.
Well, let's just get into this, okay? You guys played the game competitively.
I've
right?
never bought
Me,
that gun.
not quite so much. I played the game. It was rarely competitive. Is there a situation where a Bison is an optimal buy?
If they're saving fully and they have no armor. But it's hard to even predict if they're going to have no armor.
Yeah, I mean, and especially in the current meta with these half buys that come out and these force buys and everything, with the strength of the pistols, you never really know when they're going to be on maybe the third round. But
And we saw examples where if he had any other gun, he would have got a kill. But I want to talk about this. This round infuriates me the most. No, I'm being real.
I know you are.
We
That's
saw
what-
you.
that's what
12
makes it
to
so
14.
amazing.
12 to 14. It is a vitally important win, round to win. And Fugly there, okay,
by himself.
You've got 2 AWPs. Okay, you know that because Astralis had lost the previous rounds, they're likely to have a 5 rifle buy because they were buying deagles.
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing. When you have the
And
two
you
AWPs,
push up like that and die straight away.
yeah,
The fact that he was by himself.
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry to cut you off there. Apparently, I've been doing that a lot. But to cut you off on purpose there, when you have 2 AWPs, you don't want to be by yourself, especially in these halls alone. You want to be able to get information and fall back safely. And right there, Fudley, it might have been miscommunication. I don't know how to describe it, but he was by himself with no way to fall back.
But look at the situation it leaves Legear in. And this is the nightmare for anyone who's got an AWP. I have to cover multiple choke points at once. You cannot do that.
It's too hard. And you saw there, like, just by little timing is the reason he lost that. But right there, like, it's too much to ask one operator to watch both those angles right there because he has to constantly move back and forth as
and
you
watch,
can see.
this is where the panic starts to set in because, right, he knows there's a guy there. So he knows now the guy's going to come from short here and
Misses
push him.
him.
So he misses him. Now he's panicking. Adrenaline's going. He misses that easy close-up shot. And that is the round in the books. And that takes Astralis to match point. That should never happen. Fugly was way too aggressive there.
Yeah, well, I mean, you need the ops to start things out, and in that situation as well, like with 4 on 5, the safe play there is just to fall all the way back and make it more of a retake and see if you can pick 1 or 2 players off as they enter the site.
Again, we talked about this. These are problems that can be fixed over time. The thing this team has not had time. It's not like we're looking at other NA teams who have had years of experience together and still make the same
I get that,
mistakes.
man. Look, I don't want to sound overcritical, but here's the thing. What did we say on
You don't
day
sound
one?
like that at all.
Okay, right, thanks.
Did anyone get any clips of you while it was happening?
They probably did. They're probably going to play that at the end of the show. It's like being in the Big Brother
You were
house.
yelling at us like we did it.
Yeah, well, I've got to yell
Calm
at
down,
somebody.
Richard.
Here's the point, though, right? We talked about them on day 1 and day 2 and all these silly mistakes and the over-peaking from post-plant positions. That lost them the game. They were in a 2v1 against Kierby. Needless peak again.
Okay, so there's
stop making those mistakes.
Yeah, it is going to take time, but at the same point, I mean, Gabi just gave that interview with you where you said what are the big strengths that someone like that Tabson comes when he brings in, and what about Fugly? And Gabi says experience. Like these are things that should not be an issue for these players.
Absolutely
You even talk about Gabi as well. There was that right before that last round when he has a FAMAS and they've won the round by time, and he takes that fight with Dupree and loses his FAMAS. He has one, and he can drop one in the next round if he stays alive.
And then he didn't have
Instead,
enough
it forces.
And then, of course, we end up with that Bison buy.
Yeah, exactly. And it just, you can all, I almost think it might be a little thing to do with communication because they're, language barrier there may be. I know they all speak perfect English, but sometimes I feel like you can't really relay what you want to say.
Maybe you're right. Look, I've had it in my ear. Come on, Richard, let's talk about something good. So let's talk about things Astralis did right. We got some general highlights here. I mean, I guess one of the marks of a true champion is that you can win ugly. It doesn't have to be perfect all of the time. You just get the W, and Astralis did that here.
Well, this is when you really see the duo of Astralis. Dupree and Device had a fantastic game. Kirby as well chimed in at times, but it really was these two. Like we said, Device, he's just at a whole other level right now, and it's actually very, very impressive on a map like Overpass, which is so in the favor of Astralis, and when Dupree goes off, and when Device goes off, that this was even still a close game. So that's an impressive. That's the silver lining for NRG is that they're able to compete, even if they're making some of these mistakes. But Astralis, while most said they played beneath themselves, which they did. I mean, Dupree
They
and
almost
Device
played careless to me. Like they took
Yeah.
these, like you saw these flashes through smokes and running through. They took a lot of duels that they didn't need to, and I feel it was kind of towards like, hey, let's get this done over quickly, and it came back to bite them. But now, maybe map 2, they'll be like a lot more, okay, guys, we can't just do whatever we want against this team.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's very possible. That is kind of the wake-up call, so to speak.
Exactly.
And also, you know, it's first game of the day.
And that's the thing. When you're a team like NRG, you got to look at these first games of the day when the team early on is falling. You have to take full advantage of that. And NRG had a really great opportunity to steal a map
Well,
here.
very often we talk about great pairings in the game. We got Olaf Meister and Crims, for example, over at Fnatic. This is Device and Dupree, the double D combination.
The double D
The double D combination.
Wonder where
That's
you
what
got
I like
that from.
to call it.
Yeah.
No one else does
If you
for some reason.
If you put your heads together,
Yeah,
it's like-
let's not do this, Mo.
Good lord.
So you can see here, over 50 kills between them on one map. Just phenomenal, phenomenal work. Anyway, lots of work to do in the series. We'll see if NRG go on full tilt. Thanks for your thoughts. We're going to take a short commercial break, and when we come back, we'll see if NRG can rally or whether Astralis will make it to the televised finals on Friday. Make sure you join us.